Thank you all for having me here. It's an honor to be able to speak here. I heard a little bit of Richard's presentation. He talked a little bit about happiness and money, so I'll just be expanding upon his point on happiness. So, my name is Kevin Lin, by the way. Oh, it's okay. Thank you. Okay, so I come from a family of 6. I am the 3rd in my family. Yeah, so right now my 2 younger sisters are here. The rest of my family is in the States. Actually, well, my dad and mom are still here doing work such as being a pastor or also helping out with preschool ministry. They felt a calling to come from Chicago to Taiwan because my dad felt that there was a spiritual need in Taiwan, and he thought, hey, I have some gifts, I'd like to share them with everyone if possible. He wanted to share the good news. So he took his whole family from Chicago to Taiwan, and we've been here ever since. So we came from Chinatown in Chicago. This place is great, just don't be out here past 9 o'clock because that's when a lot of crime happens. Half the year it's snowing, so when you go outside your face hurts because it's just so cold. It's like being in a refrigerator all day long. But for those of you who plan to visit, you're welcome to come to my place and I'll share stories and whatnot. So my dad, he's been here for about, I'd say 23 years. So I've been here, I came in when I was very young, and he's been giving programs to communities such as helping with marriages, helping with funerals, helping with children's programs, giving free music lessons, English classes, helping out the homeless. And what's my role in all this? I'm the behind the scenes guy. I'm the guy who's like, wakes up at 3 a.m., Kevin, can you drive this guy? I think he's high. Drive him to the hospital quick, help, help, help. Stuff like that. So, that was supposed to be funny, but it's okay. There's just plenty of, if you want to work a lot, just work for my dad a little bit. So, I thought the best way to get a glimpse of what my family and I do here is to show you via video. So, this is a summer camp program that we run at our church, and really try to reach out to the community, offer free English programs if possible. So, this is a promotional video. Here's school.
I'm trusting you, God.
This is one of the videos I could find. There's a lot of other things. There's a lot behind the scenes. If you didn't see me there, that's because someone has to film. I bet you guys are pretty much used to doing that in your classes. I'm guessing you guys have to build your own websites and whatnot. But anyways, I always thought that it's always good to see what it looks like via video. Just if you want more details, just talk to me later. But in terms of happiness, I always knew in my mind that happiness came in regards to what is the ideal life that everyone wants. Now, my dad, my family, they always taught me from very young that everyone is after a certain kind of happiness. Now, people may say, oh, Hitler's version of happiness is to have a certain race, or Siddhartha Gautama's version of happiness is for enlightenment, or this person's happiness is a certain way. So Christianity's version of happiness, ideally, is for everyone to accept the good news. The good news that there is an option for a life eternal with your loved ones. A life eternal to study, to grow as people. But I only got this in my head. And in order to get that in my heart, I had to go to high school. Now, when I first came here, I went into an international school called Morrison Academy, Kaohsiung. It's pretty much, like, I think like 5 kilometers away from here. And yeah, from there, I got to meet a lot of people. I played a lot of soccer. If you want to meet people from all around the world, just play soccer, because no matter where you go, you'll play a lot. Is there any Indonesians here? Any Indonesians here? Do you guys play a lot of soccer? No, okay. But you know a lot of our friends probably play a lot of soccer, yeah? Yeah. I actually played with a group in Season 1. They're pretty. No, sorry, I'm pronouncing it wrong probably, but yeah, there's a lot of soccer groups out there, Indonesian, Belgians, French, Italians. There's a surprising amount of Italians actually in Taiwan, which is really funny. Anyways, life in high school is fun, but in order for me to understand happiness in my heart, I had to witness something quite tragic. So in Morrison Academy, there's they give high schoolers the option to go through a dorming program. In this dorming program, they let students from all over the world come here, live with a dorm parent. So dorm parents are just people who are acting as a father and mother figure. They stay together and still go to school like anyone else who goes to Morrison Academy. But it turned out to be quite tragic, because my junior year, my dorm mom actually developed cancer. And you could see the impact it had on every single community. This person, people did not have bad things to say about her. You could see her life lived out for God. She always, if someone needed help, she always gave as much time as she could to them. She would knit clothes for them. She would feed them randomly just for fun. But then when she passed away, it made me realize that there's a happiness that everyone's after. And eventually, as we grow older, is one, after we experience death, the happiness that we all seek is reunification with our loved ones. I'm guessing you've all gone through something traumatic, so we all can relate. And that's why I felt that the gospel, which promises a reunification with loved ones, was the answer. Now, I obviously explored many other different beliefs. I studied Islam, I studied Buddhism, I studied Shintoism in my college in Chicago. So I know that there's many different options, but as I sifted through the evidence, I came more to the conclusion that belief in the good news of Christ was the way, as for true happiness. But that's up to you guys to find out. Now, this is just a little sneak peek of what it's like inside an international school in Taiwan.
Hi everybody, welcome to this year's talent show. We have a lot of talent.
Keep in mind it is 15 years old, so please don't judge the video quality too hard. But to get the idea, if you want to sum up my high school life, it was pretty happy apart from that tragic incident of dorm mom with cancer. So you can skip that. Okay. Now, I finally graduated from high school. I go into the workforce a little bit before I go to work in Chicago, or actually go to university in Chicago. And for a while, I got some jobs as a soccer coach and volleyball coach, mostly for high schoolers and middle schoolers. And there is realized that no matter how many different kinds of peak students, no matter how many different kinds of kids you interact with, you'll find that everyone struggles. Maybe there might be some variations of how people are searching for happiness, but in general, you'll find a lot of similarities with people willing to distract themselves by whatever means, whether it's by sports, by hanging out with friends. But sometimes a lot of heavy things happen in life, and it's, how do I explain this? It's like you can see the need for happiness, but a certain kind of happiness. I'll explain this more as I share about a little bit about my Danbing experience. But I'm gonna connect it later to even from children to people who are about to get their PhDs. There's similar sort of core in everyone that's after this type of happiness. And it's interesting how people sort of stumble along the way but find themselves at a similar conclusion. There's me. I used to shave my head a lot, so that's how you always recognize me in a lot of photos. Okay, now it's time for me to go to college. At this stage of my understanding of happiness, I finally learned the practical aspect of happiness, which is how to apply what I know and give it to others. So I went to university to study communications with a concentration in media studies. I got a certificate in journalism. There's all this fancy words for I'm just studying the news, basically. And if you notice that we're wearing shorts, the weather is like rarely like this. It's like usually it's miserable, it's cold. And this picture is a little bit more accurate. Notice how we're wearing winter jackets. Just long sleeves all the time. This is a typical college dorm. I'll give you a little bit of a sneak peek of what actually happens inside a dorm in Chicago. But anyways, as I learn the practical applications of happiness, such as when I studied to become a communications major, I studied this program because I struggle with communication. It's like, I feel like everyone is so good at it. I was like, why is everyone so good at communicating things like their emotions, their ideas, their words, their aspirations, their dreams? And I just really want to know. So that's why I studied communications. And it really just came down to just how you boil down data and transfer it. That's all it really is. And to do that, you really have to not only connect via the mind, but via the heart. And I'll show you a little sneak peek of what the inside of a dorm in Chicago is like. I wasn't planning on making this video. Keep in mind the video I'm going to show you, it wasn't meant for a college presentation like this. It's very troll, it's very chill, but I just want to give you this little sneak peek of what life was like. Oh, sorry. Yeah, it's pretty much like this. The music's all happy and stuff because it's a joke. Because if you ask any of these students in this video, you ask them like, how you feeling? They'll be like, I miss the sun. I miss the warmth of the sun. I want to be inside. I hate being outside, going to class. And it's really sort of funny as you're watching this video with that in the back of your mind. Yeah. They're all smiling, but really, if you ask them, they're all really struggling. People like snow a lot. Like, you ask my sisters and say, "Oh, we love snow. We love snow." You'll stop loving snow when you have to shovel it. My job used to be in the States is I have to shovel snow. It pays a lot. If you go to the U.S. and you want to get a job, just shovel snow. They give you $20 US an hour, which is what's $20 US in Thai? 600 NT. It's not bad for a college student. So yeah, but I'll show you what the inside of the dorm's like.
Hi everyone, this is me. I'm in James' apartment with this two roommates, Sam, Carlson, who Bradley. To meet you guys, yeah, don't meet him, it's very annoying. I know.
Americans really like sarcasm.
This is where we just watched a documentary about Spielberg. Just had lunch. Nope. I can't zoom in.
This dorm, it costs for 2 semesters $3,000 US. So if you think your dorms in Taiwan are expensive, just think, oh, yeah, I'm glad I'm not in America wasting all that dorm tuition.
There's some chicken, very fancy chicken, alcohol.
I've heard a lot about you guys. Looking forward to meeting you all.
Of course. There's the kitchen, pretty messy. Somebody didn't wash the dishes. Please, it's not my apartment, but I'm gonna stay over, so yeah. Oh yeah, I'll bring the bread. That's my bed right there.
Yeah, I slept on there a lot
It's
nights.
almost 5-star.
That's my couch, basically. That's my bed.
Which one? The red one? No, I'm using the doggy one.
Sometimes I have to sleep on the floor because there's too many people sleeping in this dorm.
I'll use your blanket. It's good. There's a bathroom. Okay. This is Jeremy, the other roommate.
Hi.
He's pretty creepy. Very creepy. Oh my god. Here's the room. It's also pretty stinky.
Alright. So you get the idea. We spent many hours, many days, many tears, many bloodshed in this dorm, just studying for exams. Studying. I spent like I think 2 all-nighters in a row. How many of you guys have spent more than 2 all-nighters in a row? Anyone? 1 all-nighter? 1 all-nighter? Does anyone know what an all-nighter is? It's basically when you stay up all night just studying. Come on. No, wow, you guys are all so healthy. It's amazing. Wow. Anyways, yeah. So, in terms of
definitely a sin for Emma. That's for sure.
Okay, let me see.
With Kit. Well,
Okay. But besides all the studying that I did in college, I also set up a lot of events. This is my team. Our events, we would do like music concerts. We would do breakfast for all. It'd have like 100, 200 people usually attend. I mean, my college only had about 2,000 students in the undergrad program. I mean, how many students are in the undergrad program in Isho? Does anyone know how many? 13,000? Yeah. So like Wheaton's like what, a fraction of Isho. But anyways, so like 200 is a big deal for us. We do carnivals and stuff. If you ever go to America, this is what you call a dunk tank. Have any of you guys ever been in a dunk tank? No? It's basically like, imagine this chair, a bucket of water, and you're on top of it, and right here is the machine. Now if they throw a ball and hit the target straight in the bullseye, you basically fall in and get soaked from head to toe. And so, yeah, this is an example of what you must be willing to sacrifice if you ever go in the United States and they ask you to volunteer for events like these, it really puts you out of your comfort zone. Like, who here likes public speaking? Raise your hand if you like public speaking. No one? No one? Perfect. You know why? In America, they'll force you to public speak for pretty much every single class. Especially for those of you who are going to get your master's in the United States. America just loves to put you out of your comfort zone. Like some of the professors, they'll go right up to you and say, hey, are you learning this all right? How is this? Alberto Alchefet. Oh wow, this is so hard. They'll be like that. And they'll ask you to respond a lot. They'll ask you questions like, what's your name? Sorry, what's your name?
My name's Jason.
Jason. And they'll talk to you right in front of the class, have an actual conversation. If you ever go to a college in the United States, expect that sort of interaction, at least for small colleges. Now, there are obviously some colleges that have over 20,000, 30,000 students for one class. So keep in mind that each college is varied, but the one I went to was very much in your face. And so it was actually thanks to that I understood that happiness is uncomfortable sometimes. Think about it with your parents. When you're kids, they have to change your diaper. Now, obviously they're not happy in the moment, but they love you so much that they're willing to suffer for you to the point that when they see you laugh as a kid, they'll think that is happiness. I am happy. At least for some of you. Obviously, not everyone has the best relationship with their parents. Well, at least when you're born, usually it's like that. So it helped me understand. Thanks to this experience, I've done a lot of things I've been uncomfortable with, like going into the military in Taiwan. That was the most uncomfortable experience ever. But then at the same time, I knew that I would be happy if I trusted in the Lord, as trusting the process that this will make me grow as a person to search for eternal happiness, which is obviously reconnection with loved ones. Now, college is, I'll give you a sneak peek of what this video, I'll tell you first you give me your first impression of this video, and then I'll tell you the actual background to what was going on in this video. Okay. So this was a jazz concert that we held for college. Okay, what was your first impression of that video? Any volunteer? Actually, in the US, they just choose a volunteer. Can I choose you as a volunteer? What's your name?
The same as you.
Oh, wow! Great name. Okay. Now tell me, what was your first impression of that video? Don't worry, you don't have to have an idea. It's okay. It's very chill. The vibe is it's very calm. In reality, when you're organizing it, it is not like that. Oh my gosh, there were so many things like, who turned off the lights? Turn it back on. Or how come his mic's not working? Is this thing on? Is this thing on? I thought we had ordered 50 dumplings. Now we have 100 people right here. So that's the actual reality. Like when they post these videos for colleges, when they say, oh, come to our college and stuff, keep in mind that there's always a lot underneath. I mean, you guys all know, how many of you are seniors? Any seniors? Seniors, when you post a promotional video for your class, is there a lot of like stress, a lot of like screaming and stuff? Oh yes, this guy knows it.
If you have something to say.
Yes. No, I know your pain. Like video editing at late at night till like 3 a.m., 4 a.m. Oh my gosh, it's miserable. But, okay. Finally, I'm done with college. This is my class. I finished my undergrad program at Wheaton. So I go back to Chinatown and I do an internship at Resource Global. Now Resource Global helped me understand the growing up aspect of what it takes to help people. Now, if you ever go to the United States, one of the big things that you'll notice is the paperwork. Like, think about your health insurance right now. Like, you have to just go to the office, fill out like one form or two. Not for US. You have to go to 3 different offices, ask them why don't I qualify for this type of health insurance? Or if you've ever been in a car accident, and trust me, I've been in a car accident in the United States because Chicagoans are terrible drivers. Like, okay, if you want to compare driving in Taiwan and US, like, yes, it's more chaotic in Taiwan, but they drive a lot faster, so the accidents are a lot bigger. And usually, like, let's say you crash your front hood, that could cost up to $10,000 US if you don't have the right insurance. So keep in mind that happiness, it takes a lot of work. It takes a lot of just doing the little things right. I mean, that's what being an adult is. It's just doing the little things, whether it's taxes. I just finished mine last month, April 15th. Always remember that date because that's when your taxes are due if you ever live in the United States. You just have to drive everywhere. Like the shortest commute in Chicago is 30-minute drive. That's the shortest commute that you'll find in Chicago. I can't speak for other states, it's probably longer. I knew some students who had to drive for 2 hours just to get to class. So just be grateful that Taiwan's a lot more convenient in terms of that. But part of being an adult is doing the things that are quote unquote uncomfortable. Just like how Richard had to pick up his kid just now. Anyways, so working at this nonprofit where we help other organizations start their business, whether it's media, whether it's getting the paperwork done, whether it's getting a podcast, whether it's getting a website. That's what I basically did. So if you guys need help with making a website or starting up a podcast, I'm guessing that your professors already have you doing this, so you probably don't need my help too much. But it's pretty much standard if you go to any college in the US to have at least your own website for a portfolio or whatnot. Okay, I'm about to go back to the United States. I'm about to go back to Taiwan, and one of the biggest differences that you'll notice between Americans and Taiwanese is how early they get married. When I went to college, I think right now 60% of my friends right after college got married, and man, it is expensive. See this suit I'm wearing? So what they do is have you rent out a suit. That suit costs like $250 US. That's considered cheap. How much is $250 US in Taipei? 7,500. You have to also include travel expenses, which is typically about $150 US. Don't forget the wedding gift, which is typically at least, the very least, $100 US, plus getting your own meals. It is expensive, but it helped me understand what the happiness that I'm trying to attain. Because from the Christian perspective, happiness is basically a relationship with Christ, and it does not break. Typically, we've seen human relationships break. We've seen marriages break up. We've seen the divorce rate in Taiwan is I think 25%. the U.S. is 50%, and don't even get me started on just multiple marriages. So when I was trying to figure out how to accurately convey happiness, I thought one of the things that every child, every student, every adult person, their understanding of happiness is loyalty, or a commitment to a strong relationship that lasts forever. So, you know, these people spend like thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars on these weddings, and like, you know, obviously they go into debt and whatnot, but that theoretically it symbolizes the commitment, because, you know, when I pay $1 for something, I'm not gonna care if I lose it or not. When I pay $8,000 for this table, I'm gonna treat this table with so much care and respect that is like my child. If I paid $8,000 US. Now the Christian understanding of that is basically where Jesus paid his life. And when you pay your life for something, when you pay your life for someone, that is the ultimate form of a committed relationship. Now this is all symbolic. You know, when I look at my friends getting married, I always wonder, are they going to get divorced? Are they going to last more than 20 years? Are they going to last maybe 50 years from lucky? Like, that's the sad reality that we live in today's society. And it just helped me understand that we humans are weak. And I'm weak. I struggle with Mandarin. Like, I've lived here for what over 10 years, and my Mandarin still sucks. Like, I'm definitely more weak than a lot of people. And so, it's through our weakness that relationships can form, though. I mean, I'm not gonna get married to Superman. I'll probably get married to some regular human. So, just keep that in mind when we're thinking about happiness. Think about the bond of relationships. Think about how long it lasts, and what kind of relationship do you want with your life, with the lives of those around you, especially when you think about death. Especially when you think about the average human lifespan is what, 70 years now? It's growing a little bit, so which is a fraction. How am I doing on time?
The class, you can end at any time for Q&A, up to you.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so before I went back, you know, I showed these two pictures because, you know, obviously in the States, you know, like after college, I do a lot of like fun snow things, and there's a huge contrast going to the military. Where it's like, okay, hey, who's that not good-looking guy? Who's that not good-looking guy? Yeah, that's me. That's me. Yeah, it was the weirdest experience ever, just going to the military, because I have friends who go to U.S. military, and like, I was like, okay, I'm gonna get fit, I'm gonna get strong, I'm gonna eat healthy, I'm gonna sleep regularly, like I'm gonna actually like not have to stay up till like 5 a.m., which a lot of those are true, but at the same time, it was like a lot of those was not true. And so it made me, it really put me out of my comfort zone. And sometimes, even in the worst situations where people constantly talk about suicide in the military, even in the worst situations that you can think of, there's ways to find happiness. Now, all my brothers here, all my brothers, we helped each other get through this process. They've helped me a lot. I mean, like, my Mandarin sucks. The drill sergeant the first day was like, you can't speak Chinese? What are you doing here? You call yourself Taiwanese? Oh, sorry. And that's all you can say for like the first week during boot camp. But, you know, it really, when you're in that vulnerable state, you realize that happiness comes in the small things. Like, I've never been, as soon as I came out of the military, I was so happy just to not have to wake up at 6 a.m. I was so happy not to have a haircut. I was so happy not pay 洗衣费3000多 for 2 months only. It's like, I was just so happy for all the little things that we get to enjoy. And so happiness does come in the little things. Okay, so this is for fun. So to conclude, happiness comes, there's so many factors. I mean, it comes in the mind, where it depends on how you grow up with your understanding of happiness, depending on who your parents are. It also comes in the heart when you go through traumatic events, and you sort of have to grow up in a tough environment for you to truly spread happiness. Like when I was in Chicago, besides car accident, I was mugged. You ask most Chicagoans, they've probably been mugged once. Like, has anyone in here been mugged once? Mugged, it means, like, for me, it was me and my friend, we were going downtown past 9 o'clock. Bad idea when you're going down Chicago. 3 men just came up, said, hey, we're taking your bike, push, got your bike, there goes $1,000 worth bike gone. Fortunately, it was a rental. But so happiness, to spread it comes through tough times. And even then, we're still looking for it through, you ask any human, 60% believes in the spirit, 60% of this world believes in the spiritual world. Why? Because everyone here is searching for something. Okay, that was my conclusion. I'm just gonna give a funny video at the end of, while I'm waiting to go back to the stage, which is in May 21st. I'm just playing these random games. If you guys like board games, let me know and I'll invite you. We love murder mystery games. This is an example of a murder mystery game that we like to do. This is in Taiwan, by the way. This is in a coffee shop in Minza. Alright. If you'd like to connect with people in the States, games are probably the easiest way. Whether it's soccer, volleyball, or board games. Right? Also, if there's any of you guys who want to play soccer, my team is KIFC, which faces against the Black Knights. We're right now looking for some players, so if any of you guys are soccer players, let me know, and I'll put you in the group chat. Anyways, thank you for listening. It's been my honor.